Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about a game that Madmind Studio is working on. I've already talked a little bit about Succubus, which is this game here, a spin-off of Agony where you play as a succubus in a more action-oriented sort of way. But that's not the only one they're working on. They're also working on a new game called Paranoid, which is far closer to the horror of Agony than Succubus is, even if it is a very different setting. Apparently both versions of Agony sold well enough that they're able to work on two new games, which is nice. One thing to know about it is, despite being a horror game, it doesn't follow the same sort of defenseless trend that a lot of horror games do these days. Your character does appear to be able to pick up weapons and fight back. They give a general overview of the plot on Steam, but the gist of it is that you're a guy who lost his entire family due to unknown circumstances, but whatever they were evidently quite violent. The only one who could not be really accounted for was his sister, who apparently makes a return to his life multiple years after the event, and by that point he has sort of spiraled into a life of drug addiction and alcohol abuse and just all these detrimental behaviors. So there's a bit of mystery to it, specifically what has his sister been doing all of that time, and why and how did she decide to call him at that point. One could imagine the paranoia is related to it. However, I think there's more that has happened in this guy's life than the description on Steam presents. Though they haven't released an actual trailer of it, they do post on social media these little teaser trailers in the form of sort of retro 80s style commercials that, as the video goes on, it becomes more and more warped and demented, likely based on the character's perception of the trailer and his paranoid schizophrenia kicking in and altering his view of reality. The latest of these were for electronic products like radios or televisions, and unlike all the others, it does have a little bit more information in it that one could assume is related to his backstory. For example, here, rather than the usual commercial text, there's just "they know" repeated over and over again, implying that the character has done something and suspects that others are becoming aware of what he's done and are going to come and get him for it. And in another part of the teaser, there's more normal commercial text, though some parts of it are spelled incorrectly, and the lowercase letters are a hidden message spelling out "kill him," which I think is related to whoever is digging into this guy's history, but I can't say that for certain. It is interesting that it is "kill him" rather than "kill her," because all of the monsters we see in the trailer, or the concept trailer, are female. There's these grotesque deformities of the human body. They have weird faces, are missing eyes, just sort of a merge between erotic and horrific. I mean, those same elements seem to crop up a lot in their enemy and creature designs. There's sort of a recurring pattern I'm noticing with this studio. What I've noticed as far as patterns go about the two enemies in the trailer specifically is that they're both sort of dressed up and look like prostitutes. And I think that is going to tie into the story. Based on what we know right now, my guess is that at some point in time he hired a prostitute and then in a sort of fit of schizophrenic paranoia he killed her, and now he sort of sees her haunting him. Hell, it may even be that he's killed multiple prostitutes, but I just think it's a bit telling that that is what the enemies look like so far. Why not just a regular grotesque monster, or why not a guy in a business suit, or a woman wearing more decent outfits? People have speculated in the comment sections of the videos that the monsters he sees are actually just regular people, that his paranoia is causing him to view them as monsters, and he's basically going around and stabbing average Joes to death. But I kinda want to make one more speculation. It could honestly be that he's the one who killed his family. Now, it could be intentional, it could be semi-intentional, something done out of a bout of his schizophrenic paranoia, or it could have been a complete accident, like he was driving them to some, family gathering and crashed the car and they all died, but he and his sister, and he lost touch with his sister over the years. It could be just extreme guilt that is making him sort of turn to drugs and alcohol. But nothing about the description here really denies that possibility. He just would have been 17 years old at the time is the most information we really know about what happened surrounding that event. Now, I know I'm sort of jumping back and forth on topics, but let's return to the design of the monsters. For the last one, you'll notice that she has this huge gash running from the top of her head down to her jaw, which has been pretty much broken at that point. And then there's another picture that looks like a variation of the other monsters seen in the trailer, but not the exact one, since the one in the trailer didn't have that sort of fur coat wrapping around her shoulders. But you can see the same thing. There's a huge gash in her head that stretches down to her mouth. It's kind of difficult to tell from the one that's actually in the trailer due to all the blood and the darkness, but it does kind of look like she has the same problem in certain frames. The consistency of the type of damage makes me think that it's not a coincidence that that's what his mind is producing. Like the fact that they're prostitutes, I think it's rather meaningful to something that has happened in the past. I don't think it's specifically what damage he dealt to a prostitute, if the theory that he killed one in the past is correct. But I'm actually sort of more inclined to think that what he's seeing is a sort of violent result of whatever happened to his family. That his mind is merging these two traumas together into this horrific archetype. Though one could also speculate that the prostitutes and his mother or sister or whoever are one and the same. After all, even though he was 17 when the event happened, we don't really know much about his family other than most of them died in some horrific means and his sister disappeared. For all we know, one of his family members could have been a prostitute. It's not out of the realm of possibility. When they do release a proper trailer, or when they post some more teaser videos or whatever, we'll probably get a better picture of what happened and why he's like this. But until then, that's about as much as I can figure out about the game. Hopefully it'll be good. we'll just have to wait and see. But until then, I hope you enjoyed the video and I gave you something to think about and otherwise entertained you. Take care.